on, everybody. Get up. Let's go. Let's go.
All right, here we go. It's GloucesterCast 362. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us here today.
And 12 cast iron stoves.
12. I think you're lowballing it. I think you're lowballing
This
it.
building's going to collapse. It's going to collapse. It's so much weight in this on this.
I know, actually.
Right now.
I wasn't thinking of that until you just said it, Chris.
Now he's nervous.
I think we should go to the
I
lower
might have
level.
to utilize my engineering skills.
Oh, my cousin just texted me.
Uh-oh,
Okay,
hang on.
I gotta make sure we get that. Got it. So it is October 20th. We're getting close to the time where we're gonna turn the clocks, fall back.
Right, you
And
know, I
it's
thought
gonna
that
be-
was October, but it's November now?
I'm not sure where it's coming up. Whatever it is, it's coming up. But it's gonna be where it's gonna be 3:30 in the afternoon, and you're gonna be falling asleep because it's gonna be pitch black pretty soon.
Hate it.
Isn't it good for you in a way because it's lighter earlier in the morning?
No, because
Now we
the
got
afternoons
24
are
hours a day for
so.
Joe.
Yeah, I leave work for work and it's pitch black, and I go home and it's pitch black. That is what it is. That time of year, we gotta make money right now. It's a slow season, so. We had Joedy Hicks is here. We'll go around and introduce everybody. Ralph is here.
Good morning.
Hi, Ralph. Jody.
Hey.
Jody. Hi, Ralph. Jody. Chris.
Hey, Chris Ralph.
Ralph. Jody.
Great.
Jody, Ralph,
I'm
Chris.
Jim. Jim.
Jody.
Jody.
Ralph.
Oh, it's way too early for this.
Go ahead.
Jim.
I did.
You
I
broke
said
the
Jim.
chain.
Oh,
I said
okay.
Jim.
Good morning, I'm Lisa. I'm Jody's wife.
Lisa.
There you
Hi,
go. Well
Lisa.
done.
How you doing? I'm Jim.
Good morning.
Lisa.
Gloucester. We're
Jody,
back.
Jody,
Chris.
Ralph,
We're
Lisa.
back.
Ralph.
Jody.
Jody.
No.
Oh boy.
Pat.
I can't.
That's on the camera.
I can't do this morning.
Go ahead, Kim.
Good morning, Gloucester.
Kim is with us as well. And I'll
Kim.
be the host.
Kim.
Kim.
Chris,
Kim.
Ralph.
Kim.
Hi,
Nice to see
Kim.
you, Kim.
Ralph,
Kim.
Joe.
Kim. Ralph. Kim. Jody.
And who are you?
I'm Joey Scimitaro, your host. It's Pat's birthday week.
Yes.
Pat Dalpiaz.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
Thank you.
Pat.
We would have brought you a cake, but Jim
We
didn't
know.
tell us that your birthday was this
All
coming
Jim
week.
cared
Last
about-
week when it was his birthday, because he was too busy telling
Yeah.
us that it was his birthday last
He
week.
was selfish.
And didn't tell us that it was your birthday next week.
Very selfish.
I'm a bad boy.
Yes, you are.
All right. Bend over.
We have over 20 people
Of
with
course
us
we
as
do,
well.
because we've been pimping this thing. I
Yeah, you're
did some
definitely
testing this morning.
It's work.
It's actually embedded live on the Good Morning Gloucester page right
Oh,
now.
awesome.
People are watching us
Awesome.
live, not just like the
Awesome.
screenshot of it, like that they have to
Right.
click. It's
Right.
actually going live.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm watching it right now.
Are you really?
You're on the
How do
Good
we
Morning
look?
Gloucester
Laura?
page?
Chris,
Very cool.
everybody looks fantastic. Where did you get that jacket?
Hey, I bought this in
He got that
Rockport
from
yesterday.
you got that the Navajo
Thank you
Indian
very
whistle
much,
stop.
Brenda.
Yeah,
No.
we have 23.
Rockport. It's
Um,
a Pendleton.
I want to. We have to do shout
Nicole
outs.
is on board.
We have to do-
Morning,
Yes, we
Nicole.
have to do shout
Nicole, where are the muffins?
Nicole. I still got some muffins from
How
last
come
week
you're
from
not here,
Nicole.
Nicole?
Tony wiped those out.
So
Oh, my mother's watching us.
hey
Oh,
Joyce,
McCarthy. Hi, Mommy.
Hi, Mom.
Love you.
Janice.
Morning.
Wait till he starts swearing.
Oh, no, I have to be nice now.
All right, let's focus here. Ralph, we have to mention who brought treats, because this is the most important podcast
Yes.
for me.
Thank you,
You
Ralph-
don't bring treats, you get called out.
That you do. Ralph
Right.
brought the kumbatis.
Gumbadis. I went to Gumbadis. I brought Joey a nice ham, egg, and cheese sandwich and some grilled coffee rolls that look fabulous. I didn't taste them, honey,
They are very
but they
yummy.
look fabulous. Kim and Chris ate them, and they said they were
I took a bite,
fantastic.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Delicious.
It's
Kim
a it's
took
a little
bite
hidden
and
gem
put it
over
right
there.
back.
That's
I can't
she
believe
licked it. She licked. That's her
She
move.
licked the frosting
She
and put it
grabs
back.
all the pastries. She touches them all,
Right, that's what I always
and then she puts them
She
back.
pulled
so
an
no one else
Ariana
can take them.
Grande.
That's what I always do.
So no, and then
Be careful, because that way then nobody else will have any. If I
that's your
pick it
move.
up.
Good
That's your move.
strategy.
Jimmy and Pat brought bagels from Cape Ann Coffees.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Chris bought leftover pizzas from last night.
No, they weren't last night. Last week. Every Sunday morning, he cleans out his refrigerator.
We have some of the Nicole's week-old muffins that she brought last week.
He's turning green.
We found them,
no.
Nicole.
And
we found where you put
I
them
almost
last week.
took a bite of one of them.
and Kim brought. What did you bring, Kim, this week?
Nothing.
And what? And
So as we stated earlier, you get
What a
called
sur-
out.
what
when
a
you don't bring
surprise.
anything.
wait.
What a surprise.
Let's hear why I brought nothing.
What did you buy?
Oh, there's an
Let's hear-
excuse.
Let's hear why I brought nothing.
What
All
happened?
right, we're ready.
Because
She was taking
I
care of
used-
Charlotte.
I used to bring things all the time, and I was yelled at 3
Ooh.
weeks in a row by Joey because he's
Really?
trying to lose weight
Oh.
all the time, and he was
Make him
like,
sleepy.
and it was like, don't bring me any sugar, don't bring me anything.
You're right.
I'll get a
In
sugar
Kim's
buzz.
defense, she's
I'll
right.
get
She's true. It's true.
We've
I'll
heard
get
So
a
this
bring
sugar
something
buzz.
healthy.
I'll get a sugar buzz, and then I'll
Crash.
crash.
It's true.
This is
Did we speak, Jody? Did we speak about that earlier?
Absolutely. What about a yogurt parfait or something? Or an arugula salad, piece of
I don't know
protein
if we
on
would
it.
eat
Some of
that.
your nice tea that you make there with the dipped with the fresh honey and everything.
All right. Well, anyway,
So
There you go. Okay.
Kim's getting called
Well,
out this morning.
I know. Well,
Kim's turn.
I used to bring him peach smoothies, but I didn't have any peaches this year.
right, that's what I was thinking of. The peach
The
smoothie.
peach smoothies.
They're
I didn't-
delicious.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't.
So
have
what
any
you're saying is
peaches this
because of
year.
your lack of agricultural skills, we're suffering without a peach smoothie this morning.
Well,
Those were really
They'll
good.
improve
I
on
really
the
liked
podcast.
those.
Anyway, so I want to mention we have a date. I had it in the show notes last week, but I never
we were all
mentioned
waiting for the announcement.
I
last
never
week.
mentioned-
Both of us at home watching and waiting.
my personal show, the show of my new waterfront series, Cape Angie Clay, November 1st. Everyone is
That's
invited.
very exciting.
Ron Gilson, everybody knows. Oh, Frank's texting me again. Ron Gilson is
Oh, Connor's on board.
Connor, good morning. He's up. 9 o'clock on a
He's looking
Sunday.
at
Yeah,
the
young
jacket
Connor,
going, oh,
young
Dad.
Connor.
the
Oh, man.
Ron Gilson came in the
That's
office. Ron Gilson's the old timer that is Gloucester's best historian, and he came in and I was telling him about the show, and you know what? Want to know what his first question was?
What?
Are you gonna have any cocktail shrimp? Honestly, I put this in the show notes because I thought it was so what we talk about all the
All
time.
the time.
That the only reason people go to these art shows is so they can clean out whatever the
Get
free
our food.
the free grub and the free wine.
That's right.
Which brings me to the next question. Are we having food?
There you go. Right.
Because it's going to make a difference whether I show up or not.
And what type of food?
No one cares. No one cares about my
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. It's
I'm
gonna
still
be a fun
waiting for
night,
the
too.
answer. Nobody's answered my question.
Yeah, we're gonna have some food. We're definitely gonna
What
be
are you
we're gonna be
making?
doing some barbecue.
What-
The only
what-
problem is it's Friday night and I'm gonna be working Friday.
Oh,
So I'm gonna be basically going
Caitlin.
straight there.
stay tuned.
Chris will fill in for you at work.
Keep sending applause.
Well,
He's the next
I would
best
love
lobster expert.
hey honey,
Exactly.
the last party we had, Ralph made the lobster fra diavolo that everybody went crazy for at Cape Angie Clay.
Yeah.
We almost had a catastrophe because he spilled
We
the
hope Anna
he
makes
spilled the
the queso
zugu.
dip. Yes, we
Ralph
hope
almost
that.
ended up in the emergency room with a nervous breakdown.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about the food after the show.
All right.
And what night is that? November 1st.
November 1st. So everybody's invited. I hope everybody comes.
And
I'm
isn't
super
Joe's
proud.
birthday around that time?
2 days before.
I know that. But see how I'm letting on to people that your birthday is coming, Jim?
Lots of presents.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue.
Presents. Everybody, make sure when we have for the podcast, people bring me presents. Hey, listen, Kim.
Peaches,
If
yeah. Peaches.
if you line up any guests for that week,
Yeah.
make sure you gotta let them know. Food or presents. Yeah. So Joedy, did we talk about Joedy yet?
No.
No,
Okay.
you
So Joedy, we did a video earlier because this was he brought so many unbelievable cast iron grills that have been manufactured all over the United States that I thought it deserved its own piece.
Its own piece.
But Joedy comes from Connecticut, and he has he's the administrator and not exactly technically the founder, but pretty much the founder of Cast Iron Grill and Hibachi World. I got that right?
Oh,
Got it.
On Facebook.
on Facebook.
And if anybody that's is
Okay.
interested,
Oh.
even if you're not interested, you should just check it out.
Check it out.
and you may end up becoming really kind of into it like I am.
You probably recognize something you saw at your grandmother's house at one point.
Yeah, back in
I
the
remember. I think my grandmother had something like this.
And thanks for the
Oh, yeah?
gift, by the way. I'm going to take that one home. I like that one.
That's your new exercise program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goes
So-
along with your
And heat my house this
Is this
winter.
a place where people can buy on your Facebook page? Can people buy and
sometimes stuff is for sale.
sometimes stuff is for sale.
But
as well?
it's more. It's not. That's not the focus
It's
though.
more like collecting,
More like,
collectible.
more like collecting. A lot of people do cooking, share recipes.
Oh,
You know, the latest thing that they burned on their grill. They post pictures.
Post pictures of that too.
And it's just a
Okay.
lot of fun. A lot of really nice people.
Yeah,
The
that's-
cast iron community, I was really surprised when I got involved with it. I was surprised just how nice people are.
yeah,
No drama. It was just a lot of fun.
fun. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great.
There's been a lot. It's funny.
Unless you burn something.
When I was in
Yeah.
a lot of online forums that I had been in the past, it seems like anything to do with cooking, people are way more supportive. Like the Weber groups that we're in, everybody, it's more of a brotherhood,
Right.
and this
It's more
this
about
cast iron
sharing
thing.
and-
It's really
more
about
about sharing,
yeah,
not competition.
sharing information and you know.
Versus
and-
versus some of the other forums you've been on.
There was actually
the other forums that are mean.
There's actually Cape
There's
Ann.
some.
There's one called Cape Ann Online, which is where Good
that
Morning
still
Gloucester
there?
got its start.
Really?
It was a thread on Cape Ann Online.
Is that
And
still there?
I think it is. I haven't visited there for years, but it devolved into a political, just people calling each other's assholes all day long.
We don't talk politics on this show, just so you know.
Yeah,
So you can't talk about
no
your favorite
politics.
politician.
No politics.
Zero politics. You're asked to leave.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
If you
So-
want to leave, just
so-
say something.
Chris, did you go to the Rockport Festival Harvest Fest?
I did.
What was that
Yeah,
like?
I was impressed. It was a big crowd. They had a lot of
fun.
vendors there. Weather was great. You could buy a wristband for $5, and they had a bunch of vendors serving beer. Some local folks, Far From the Tree cider. They were selling their cider.
Was Night Watch there?
Night,
Thank you, Brian.
night shift, no. But the one here in Ipswich was there. True North was there. So it was good. Some of the food was good. They were cooking up all kinds of fall-related stuff. Chicken pot pie.
Big
Some
fan.
$10 lobster rolls.
Oh, it was cheap.
But it was good.
Who
We
was
couldn't.
making
We
chicken
couldn't
pot
go.
pie?
I know you sent us an invitation, but we couldn't. Oh wait a minute. You didn't invite us.
Or somebody else, your other friend.
Yeah.
Chris was lucky to go though because with the storm we had last week, he almost lost his boat.
Oh, tell
Yeah.
us what happened with that.
Yeah. Well, silly me, I didn't take my boat out, and it's sitting on my neighbor's dock, and it was docked in the perfect position where the wind was just
Ripping it.
Thank you, Mary.
banging it off on and off the dock. But my bilge pump
We're
arm
trying,
broke
Stephen.
in the middle of the night, and it filled up with water in the back. And thank God my daughter said, "Dad, can we go and do some driving?" Because she now has her permit. And as we're passing the boat, I'm looking back, and I'm like,
Where's my boat?
usually I could see the name Boston Whaler, and I
On the
couldn't
side.
see Boston Whaler because the ass was sitting.
Wow.
Stern.
The stern. We don't call the back of the boat the ass.
I call it the ass. Boat, the boat
Now you
community-
understand why he had a problem with his boat sinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It did not officially sink. I have not sunk a boat.
So how did you get it out?
So I panicked and I ran into my neighbor's shed and found a bucket.
Screaming like a little girl.
And I'm literally standing on both seats and I'm bailing it out. I left the car at the end of the driveway, so my daughter is in the car
I was
waiting
gonna
for
say,
me.
Meanwhile, your
I
daughter.
left my phone in the car too.
Oh.
But you know how hard the wind was blowing. I almost couldn't stand on the dock.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
thing
yeah.
was
That's a little
being-
dangerous.
yeah. So
His daughter didn't even check on him. She was like oblivious.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
gone for half an
You're
hour
right,
bailing out the boat.
So I'm
She
bailing
took his
out the
phone
boat.
taking selfies.
Don't you have a pump?
I was
That's
looking. It's on my other boat.
Oh wow.
So there's that.
Every
That's
boat
a-
should have a
that's
hand.
a
did-
lot.
I know.
So who
I know,
who
I-
here lost power with the? Did you lose power, Ralph?
No.
Do you have a generator?
No, I didn't lose
I'm
power.
surprised you don't have a generator.
Well, I'm all set up with the transfer box. I just haven't installed the generator.
Oh, I get you. Yeah.
So we're all keyed up for it, but we haven't installed it yet. We've only lost power once in the past 6 years.
Yeah, I haven't either. Chris, did you guys lost power for how many days?
Thanks, Joe. Rub it in.
Category 1.
For
Well-
2 days.
For
how many?
2 days.
2 days.
How about you, Kim?
We lost it for 1 second. But our neighbors up on Mount Pleasant,
Yeah.
Saturday night I stopped by and they still had no power. This was like Saturday at 6. The crew was there and stuff, but they'd been like we're just.
Yeah, I saw Jason Grow posted that he's
Yeah,
up off of Mount Pleasant.
Right. That was that whole area from Marble Road back. No power.
Wow.
And it's just remarkable because we're just like 3 doors down from 3 doors down going down the hill from them, and we weren't affected at all except for 1 second of losing power. So
Yeah.
we have to do something because my husband's a self-employed author and writer, and so he has big huge deadlines, you know what I mean? And so if he didn't have his computer for 2 days,
Oh, right.
he wouldn't.
Yeah. Because you can't.
No,
all
that's what
over.
Starbucks is for. All the coffee shops. I mean, any place with Wi-Fi in Gloucester was jam packed.
The writers just
that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Connor
I
is
didn't
wondering
even
if
think
you
of that.
lost power, Joe.
I didn't lose power. I didn't lose
Who's
power
that?
at all.
My
Jimmy, how
son
about you?
Connor? Well, we weren't there, but we
We
heard
did.
we did lose. Yeah.
It
With
was
the-
out when
with
I
the
got
clocks
up in
off.
the morning, and then I had to leave to go to New York. And when we came back yesterday, the meat had defrosted in the freezer.
Oh.
So
So
it
Joe's
was out
cooking
for
it
quite a
today.
while.
Joe's cooking all the
And there's a
defrosted meat
generator,
today.
but it failed
Oh, really?
Wow.
for whatever reason.
You're gonna file a claim.
So here's the pluses and minuses of these generators. The upfront cost is X, whatever it happens to be, right?
Well, how
But-
much is it roughly for?
I for full
It all
house.
depends how big. So
Yeah.
you need so many kilowatts for a household. So a typical household, probably like a 20 kVW generator could do pretty much a single family home.
And how much would that be?
That's somewhere in the range of $13,000 for the generator. Then you need the transfer switch. Then you need the electrician to hook it up. So you could be anywhere between $16,000 and $20,000 when you're all said and done. For top quality.
If you want one that just does like a couple of the things, I heard it's like around between 7 and 9.
Susan's hailing in from
Venice.
Ravenna, Italy.
Oh,
Nice.
Ravina.
probably one of your furthest listeners.
Yeah.
Is that Susan?
Susan Lipset.
Hi, Susan.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been following her trip.
So the key is, the next time anybody's power goes out, two things to keep in mind. If you need ice, go to Cape
Cape
Pond
Cod
Ice.
Ice,
My
duh.
sister-in-law went to Shaw's and waited in line. She's fighting old people to get ice cubes at Shaw's. Go to Cape Pond Ice. It was awesome.
Why is she
I got
fighting
the
the old people? Old people are nice. Why are you fighting old people?
Well, because
And what's
they're
your
fighting
second
over
check?
the one bag of ice. That's
So the other thing about the generators I also heard was that like a guy comes every year to like start it up and make sure everything's going. It's like a couple $100. So after 10 years, you're into it for another couple grand.
Right.
So the worst case scenario is, I don't know. I have a little wood stove downstairs to avoid the pipes freezing because that's my number one thing.
That's worrying, yeah.
But after that, like,
I can imagine.
how long do we? What's the worst? How many days we're going to lose power around?
Well,
Right.
that's why I held off on putting the generator. When I
Yeah.
built the house, I put the transfer switch in,
Yeah.
which is the automatic. It cuts the power, and then it transfers over to the generator. And then I said, wait a minute. Well, I mean, like Joey said, how many days are you going to really lose power?
Yeah.
We just call the Bullport and get a room and go here and stay there for a couple of days, like a little mini vacation.
Well, that's what our neighbor said. Like she and the kids were like, and her husband were like camping in the house for, they made it camping, but they did call both the mile marker and the Beauport and
Sold out.
totally sold
Well,
out because of that, because of the power.
based on
outage.
Joe's suggestion, I called the accommodations at Rocky Neck
Oh yeah.
and got the penthouse, and it was freaking
Yes.
beautiful.
Oh wow.
And she had plenty of rooms over there. Mona?
Mona.
Mona.
Oh wow.
So that's
Oh,
the
you should
second
put
thing.
that-
When your
you should
power
put that
goes
on the
out,
blog.
call Mona at the accommodations at Rocky Neck.
Wow,
Because,
awesome. Oh, what a
of
great
course,
place to stay.
we check in for 2 hours and the lights go on. So,
So that's how. So the sooner you get there,
the sooner you get here,
lights
this,
there.
Sooner you get your power back.
yeah.
Yeah,
my luck.
but we met at. So he stayed there. We met at the studio. We had sushi for that afternoon,
Yeah.
and he had a nice little staycation with his wife.
Nice.
And again, thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What did you do this week? And then
It proves my point about Chris. Actually, I stayed in because I never got invited.
That's what I
anyway.
figured. Yeah.
So during the storm, though, one of the other than the surf, which is always in a storm around here, is crazy. The amount of boats that were off the. So Kim covered it and I covered it. The sailboat that was.
Yeah, I think I was there. You
were there. You were in the morning. I was there in the afternoon.
Yeah, you posted yours first. I didn't get because of Charlotte. I didn't get mine up till the afternoon. But I was glad you then put yours up next because then you could see the progression. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I thought that was.
I didn't see how it went, but the fact was, this sailboat was in Wanson's Cove, and it was hot. It was the first photos I got with it. It was beached, and then.
It was pretty dramatic to see it like that.
And so that breakwater comes up pretty high, and when I was there in the afternoon, the high tide, the water was splashing over that stone wall there, which I had never seen that.
It was doing that when I was there at 10 o'clock in the morning. It was doing that. So,
yeah.
Even Niles Beach, I've never seen the water.
I've never seen
so high.
No, me neither. Like I stood at one end on Eastern Point, and I could photographed at the paint factory, like the waves cresting over by the paint factory. You know what I mean? It was.
Then you had the cruise ships that
took refuge on the north side of the island.
Yeah,
because there was a southeast breeze, so the island. Yeah, because this is Gloucester.
Where?
Right.
Joe?
This is Gloucester.
This is Gloucester. Yeah. The wind is coming. The wind is coming southeast.
Okay.
And the cruise ships are right here.
Up there. Okay.
So the land, they were in the lee of the land.
So that was the Norwegian Dawn, I think it was called. It was from Norway. So yeah, I always describe Cape Ann as a fist.
Oh, hold it. What's
and then this is a fist, and then Rockport is the top of the fist.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to be in the video, but you can stick your hand a little further out. Yeah.
And later on in the show, we're going to have hand puppets.
Do
Do you want to see Woods Hole?
Here's
Anybody want to see Woods Hole?
What's your show in Connecticut?
I don't want to see Woods Hole. I definitely don't want to see Woods Hole.
What about P-Town?
No, I don't want to see P-Town or Woods Hole. I'm good with both of those.
You're on camera. Why don't you show us Connecticut?
Okay.
Anyway, that's good.
Jim, you're in charge of Florida.
I got Woods Hole.
Yeah, no, thank you. So anyway, we put a video of the salvage. Joe Borland in Smash. I originally posted the video, and I edited the video with the title in the thing that it was a Coast Guard rescue. But it looked like a Coast Guard boat, but I guess Joe Borland has a boat that looks just like one of those boats. It's like the orange, inflatable with the aluminum housing. And they did a magnificent job of pulling that boat out to safety.
And the Coast Guard was rescuing another boat yesterday. Did you see that?
I saw the pictures, yeah.
So
was it sinking or was it?
I don't know. It was filling with water, and they were trying.
Yeah.
That was Chris's boat.
They were pumping tons and tons of water out of it.
So I was at my daughter's soccer match up in Linfield yesterday, and I was coming back from Linfield, and it took me back to 128, down Lowell Street, and what I noticed was the traffic going to Salem. October in Salem is always bananas. I think we may have mentioned this last week on the podcast, but the popularity of Halloween in Salem and that place as a destination in the month of October spills over to Gloucester. Like all of our hotels had a lot of people staying at their hotels because it's carryover for people that can't get rooms in Salem. So they stay here. They eat at our restaurants.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the Atlantis the other day when we went for breakfast
We'll come rescue you.
was
That's great.
Pat. What are you doing? You're talking under your breath over there.
I'm sorry. I'm answering these people because I can't get.
Well, why don't you ask the questions and we'll
Because you're in the middle of a discussion.
Okay, that's all right.
It's
So
off
what you're saying is you and Chris went to Atlantis the other morning for breakfast, and I didn't get
And
invited to
going-
that either.
we invite you to everything.
I have a feeling that I'm being pushed out.
Oh,
Starting to have a little FOMO.
Do you know he's gone all the time? He goes to Maine. He goes, tell me what the question was.
What's the question?
Fear of
One
missing
of
out.
them was from Susan, wondering what Ralph wanted her to bring back. With
Susan,
her.
I love Susan. Okay, and if she's in Italy, I'm going to email you a list later because it'll take up the whole show.
Yeah. And Mary's making several comments, including that many storm comments and reinforcing what a big storm it was, and suggested that she thinks that we live on a peninsula here. And Jane
Well, it's an
is
island, but
thanking
yeah.
you for your coverage of the storm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
And
watching.
Joe Higgins, we believe is the fish print
Fish
guy,
printer, yeah.
would like to be rescued from Salem.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I
Sorry,
could-
but we're not coming to Salem.
I'm all done. Yeah,
sorry,
like,
Joe.
like
Yeah,
we've said,
I'm-
like we've said all the time is like Ralph and I are in the Shire.
Whoa! Breaking news! Oh, then I'm having FOMO now. Holy shit!
Yeah, hit the no button. Hit the no button.
Oprah.
What a
All right, let's
Freudian
take.
slip! Freudian slip.
Let's go back and let Joe start over before I have to kill him
Ralph.
live.
Can you edit that out?
Ralph, Kim, and I are in the Shire.
Knock this, Kim.
You're in the Shire. You're in
Oh,
the
you went in
Shire.
the shower with him
The
too?
Shire. The Shire. East Gloucester.
My wife's
The
watching this.
Dalpiaz and the McCarthys are still in the Netherlands. The
The
hinterlands.
hinterlands.
Yeah.
Hinterlands.
I'm trying to do something about it. There's an open house today.
Yeah.
One Stanwood Point.
Waterfront
One-
property.
12 to 1, or I don't know. Show up between
Just show
12
up.
and 2 and you'll be fine.
Are you really looking to move
I
on?
want to move to the shower. I mean, the Shire. The Shire.
It's a big shot.
Yes.
Just nobody dropped the soap.
Hey,
Yeah.
Joe, here's the soap. Joe, the soap, your turn.
Yeah. All right. So
Look
anyway,
at what time it is.
we're gonna move on. So
Where's the clock?
we need a battery for the clock.
Needs battery.
Yeah.
If
Birthday
anyone can
present.
send Good Morning Gloucester some new batteries.
Because it's needed it for like 2 months, right?
I know.
And if we're not here, we're in the shower. Just leave it outside.
Paula's commenting that Ralph is not complaining about not getting invited into the shower.
That's right.
Because he was already in the shower. Oh, shit.
So anyway, I've
Off the rails.
I've discovered I have a plan to get rich, and I'm gonna include you all in on this.
Oh, this should be
We
good.
can buy
Everybody
shares.
listen up.
I did many Google searches and Amazon searches and eBay searches, and the product does not currently exist.
Shark Tank.
And I know 100% that this is a needed product. Okay, so how many of us? See, people with children I think are going to relate to this, or spouses that are, maybe may not be responsible with their cell phone charging cables. So
This is a sensitive nerve in our family.
okay, right? Okay, there you go. Right, sensitive nerve. Do you have you ever had misplaced charging cables?
Never.
Never for you? Okay.
Oh, yes, constantly.
Constantly for you, for the Dalpiaz,
Just trying
with
to
the kids.
debunk.
Yeah,
With
we
the
have a
kids.
young
Business idea.
adult in the house. I have a husband.
So I take. So
Don't take the
every
cables
year,
into the shower.
every year I buy. Last year I bought 10 lightning cables. 10. And there are kids in the house, and there are other people I may or may not be related through marriage to, that take the cables and they break constantly, or they're missing constantly.
How did they break?
My theory is this: that they're on them so much that they're plugged into the wall. They think they pull them out by the cord instead of like carefully pulling them out like this. And I think it's because they think that they know that they're going to get replaced. Someone's going to replace them.
Somebody's
They just
So-
keep showing up like socks in your drawer.
I got So I had two for myself, one for my iPad, one for my cell phone, and everybody had gotten and taken several times over the year taking the ones,
spares.
right? Taking the spares. Now I'm down to my two that I've taken care of from the beginning, and someone said I broke mine. Can I use yours? I'm like, well, I have the two. He says you're going to have to replace it. Doesn't get replaced. And
Wake me up when the story is over.
no, so now I'm down to one,
Now
right?
you're down to one.
So my theory, so here's the thing. Family name labeled cords. So a cord, and on the part of it right here.
You have little Joey.
No, it says mom here, and then that other one says dad. It says kid number 1, kid number 2, kid number 3. So you give it to them, and then no one's going. If dad's is missing, and in mom's charger, that's an issue, right?
So what we're saying is, if dad's is inside mom's charger,
Not in the shower though.
Produce.
If the female or the male
You
is
can
in the
self-produce
female part of it,
you can self-produce cords.
It'd be nice if it
or
worked.
what if dad's cord is blue?
Well, in defense.
Well, here's the thing. Do you think that yes or no that okay, you're shaking your head that won't work? Why?
They'll still take it. It's the
Yes.
one that's
Yeah.
missing is dad's one.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
still wherever they
They'll
took
take
it or they
Yeah,
lost
it's not
it or
going
they
to
broke
prevent
it.
them missing.
It's still
It's
dad's one
unfortunate that
that's gone.
Yeah, but they'll
Seinfeld
be-
came up with the concept before us, because this show is
Yes.
absolutely
Oh,
about
yes.
nothing.
About nothing. That is true.
But you don't. I think that would prevent.
But then
a
you know
lot of the
where
theft.
yours went. I mean, there's
You
that.
would know where yours
Yeah.
went.
Joe, your valuation is too high. You're dead to me.
You're out. No, you're supposed to say you're out.
Yeah.
Shark Tank. I'm out.
I'm out.
Your valuation is
Oh,
too.
my
Actually,
God.
they-
Your
they
valuation is too high.
They do
I'm out.
have
Say you're fired.
cordless charging.
Court,
Which
they
is
do
a
have.
little misleading because there's still a cord.
No, yeah, but it's not connected to
charge-
the
But it's
phone.
not going to move.
But you
yeah,
know
don't
something
need to
though?
move it.
That might be. Oh, Ralph, as per usual, Ralph has a brilliant idea because they won't take that
correct.
stationary
No,
base.
They won't.
If I have one for Eloise, one for Madeline,
Yeah.
and one for Kate,
Whoops.
and they keep
And
it
they
next
just-
to their
they
bed.
just stay right
They
there.
put-
A bunch of money.
The geniuses of the
Christmas presents.
technology world have already come up with all these questions and answers for her. So
So how much
Unfortunately, again,
how much does
they're
that
like $30
cost?
bucks, I think.
$30? Oh.
How
you're
about
not
a
going to
coded-
become rich.
How about a coded cord that only works with a specific phone?
Oh.
I got one better for you.
Ooh, pairs.
How about a cast iron cord that they can't pick up?
Exactly. I like it. Let's go. Let's melt all these down.
No.
What? We're gonna start building the cords.
You know what I can't. So you know what's funny to me? So now the Bruins season just kicked in.
Life is good.
Celtics season's about to kick in. The Patriots are off to the races. You go to Ticketmaster, right? And you see and you see, oh, the prices. I can get nosebleed seats for $55. Then you put it into your cart. You go to check out, and it ends up being $75
Because of the fees.
The fees are outrageous on these
That's
companies.
cheap.
So
I'm
why don't you just
I'm,
watch it on TV?
There's something to these people.
Yeah,
Ralph has season tickets. It's nice to go to the show a couple times.
Whoa.
there go the
If
ratings.
you're the 18th listener,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
get.
Well, I'm going to
73
tell you.
tickets.
I'm going to tell you a funny story. So this past year, the Bruins were in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
Yep.
They lost the
moment of
game 7.
silence.
But anyway, Game 6 was a pivotal game. We thought would be a pivotal game. So a couple friends of mine and I purchased tickets for the Game 6 in St. Louis. Because we're figuring, well, if the Bruins are up 3-2, they could win in St. Louis. We're there to see the Stanley Cup. Unfortunately, that didn't occur. But anyway, it turned out to be a good investment because it was the other way around. So St. Louis people thought they're going to see them win there. So we put the tickets up for sale on StubHub, I believe. And we sold the tickets for a lot more money than what we paid for the tickets, which was great. But they hit us up almost $2,300 in fees
That's
to
outrageous.
sell the 6 tickets.
That's criminal. So did you still make a profit after the fees?
We did. We still made a profit. I think we the tickets, we bought the tickets. I think it was like $9,600 for 6 tickets, and we ended up selling them for like $13,000 or something like that to somebody in St. Louis.
So
And then they whacked us over there. We ended up making like $2,100 at the end of the day.
Wow, but still, that's so criminal.
isn't it?
But
That's true.
they made more money than we did.
Yeah.
Right.
And you had
They
all,
made money. They made money when we bought them.
you had all
Then
the
we made
risk.
money when they
What a
sold.
business model. They assumed none of the risk,
Yeah.
and they could only reap the rewards.
And
That's
I
how
don't-
you make money.
That's
Right.
it.
And I don't
Instead of come up with
understand
stupid court ideas.
how they can charge so much. I mean, it's all online.
Percentage. Percentage.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but it's all online.
Right.
So
No,
what is
no.
their overhead?
What's their
Right.
overhead?
What's
It's
the
criminal.
real-
It's criminal.
Advertisement
Wow.
is their overhead. They spend a fortune on advertising.
I love when they say the handling charge.
Yeah.
Handling my
And it's
yeah.
Cloud
not
is
to get
handling.
that's a whole segment, but not to get into it. I mean, even like if you buy tickets for a concert or something like that, you end up paying like 2 or 3 times the
Yeah.
face value of the ticket, and the artists aren't seeing that money.
No.
You know, it's a giant gaff.
Go to the Shaolin Lou. They don't do that. They don't have like yeah.
Yeah, you can see the Bruins at the Shaolin Lou. A little mini
No,
thing.
no, he's talking about artists. He mentioned
I
artists.
didn't mean artists that paint pictures.
Oh no.
I meant artists like performers.
No, like
Yeah, Shaolin Lou.
Oh, I didn't hear
Shaolin-
what she said.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
Shaolin Lou.
I'm deaf, deaf in both ears.
And guess who's going to be there this Saturday?
Who?
Jesse Cook is going to be there this
Who's
Saturday.
Jesse Cook?
Oh, he's amazing. He's probably the world's best guitarist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
There's
is.
another fan.
Yes, yeah. Well,
Huge fan.
To stick around.
Well, Jesse Cook is a huge hero in my book because first he lent me music for my a short film that I made for the Berkshire Museum, and now he's given me 4 songs for my feature film. So
That's huge.
it's
That's
huge. for
wonderful.
me.
Where is he
It's huge.
playing?
He's playing at the Shaolin Lou.
Oh,
In Rockport.
In
It's a
Rockport.
beautiful. Have you been?
is that the one with the glass wall?
Yeah.
That looks the bay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Have you been to
I
a?
have not. I've heard
You would not
wonderful.
believe.
I heard it's a friend of mine's daughter performed there, and
You-
said it was phenomenal.
Ralph, you
If
wouldn't
there's-
believe.
If there's still tickets, you should go. I mean, it's such a beautiful place to see.
Yeah,
it.
no, I'd like to go. I'd like to take my wife.
It's beautiful.
They had,
Yeah, go. It's beautiful music. It's,
Do you know who played there?
I even liked it.
Jay Giles. Jay,
Oh, really?
Jay Giles played
Jay
there.
Giles.
Yeah, I photographed that.
It's not very big, right?
Freeze frame.
No, it's not that big.
No, not that Jay Giles. The original.
Was it Peter Wolf?
No,
or was it
wasn't-
Jay
it
Giles?
wasn't Peter Wolf. It was Jay Giles. It was so Jay Giles was the guitar player for Peter Wolf, and he has his own jazz band.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why don't we have Good Morning Gloucester live there on stage?
It's too nice.
Well, no, screw them.
Because it's
We're going to
Rockport.
Gloucester
This
stage
is
this
the
winter.
party.
Heidi already has us tuned up. We're gonna have a
We're
more
taping Good Morning Rockport.
more intimate setting at Cape Ann.
I saw Heidi at Stop and Shop yesterday when I was buying my stuff for pizzas. She goes, "You making pizzas for Joe tomorrow?" No.
I saw her last week.
So we have is on the schedule for Good Morning Gloucester live.
We're gonna see what my winter schedule is. We're gonna do it when I don't have a work day, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do a live panel party there.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Live
Great.
panel
Do you-
party.
you-
We're
Are
gonna
we
do
gonna
it.
have
Does she
food?
have the dates? Yeah. Do we have the dates yet?
No, we just said that.
Okay.
No.
All right, sorry.
Any shrimp?
We can have shrimp cocktail and lobster fra diablo.
Ron Gilson wants to know.
Lobster fra diablo. That's what I'm coming for.
Did you have it?
Oh, so
Yeah, at Cape Angie Clay. Yeah, when you had them before. Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, so this last week we had Zach Sears, the executive chef and general manager from Minglewood Harborside here, talking about the new menu, and we also talked about, which we always talk about, their rewards card.
Right.
Now, for the people that downloaded their rewards card,
Yeah.
this week you got 2 emails back to back during the power outages
I
saying
saw that come in for
free $10,
Free
and they did it back to back days. $10 to use anywhere you wanted. If you had the card, that cost you
And
nothing.
Zach was still waiting for the chicken and waffles. Don't think I'm gonna.
I had the chicken and waffles the other day.
How was it?
It was good.
Chicken and waffles.
It's fried chicken, right?
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken and waffles.
Oh, fried
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Maple syrup, hot maple syrup. Right?
So
They serve that at Whole Foods sometimes. Fried chicken and waffles. Believe it or
Oh, really?
not.
At Whole
Which
Foods.
reminds me.
Speaking of Whole Foods.
Speaking of
So
Whole
anyway,
Foods,
in the show notes there is a link to download the Serenity app, which you're crazy not to do. Okay, Kim.
okay.
Speaking of Whole Foods,
Speaking of Whole Foods, they opened. this
It's
week.
open.
It's
Woo!
open, and your wife went, right? Did
My
you
wife's
say?
been there twice
Wow.
since it's opened 2 days ago.
And what was her perception?
She loves it.
She loves
She
it.
loves it. She actually, I was saying earlier that my wife goes to the Whole Foods in Linfield.
That's the
sometimes-
one I usually go to because it's on my route. going
And they'll
to
make a
the
nice
neighbors.
fresh sandwich for you. Which
I thought you were anti-Whole Foods ever since Amazon took them over. I thought
Well,
you.
I wasn't going to say that. that was my.
Joe, I was in the middle of
Go-to.
telling a sandwich story.
Oh, sorry.
You
Go
can't
ahead.
interrupt when I'm talking about food.
Let's hear the sandwich story.
So anyway, my wife would go to Linfield and have a nice sandwich made. But when at this Whole Foods, they don't make sandwiches to order like they do in Linfield, which is not good. But they do prepare sandwiches, pre-made sandwiches. But they move everything so quickly over there. Everything's nice and fresh. So she took a chance and she bought this nice turkey sandwich on a focaccia bread, a little sriracha mayo, tomato, cheese. It was lights out.
It was, and it was
Lights
pre-prepared.
out.
Pre-prepared. It's
Right.
still good.
So she ate one half of it. She brought the other half home. She said, "Oh, you should try it, taste it," which I devoured it, and then she went back and got me another one the next day.
Nice.
Oh, that's
It was
sweet.
very, very, very good. So
Do they have the pizza? Do they have pizza there?
I don't know.
Because the Whole Foods in that's one of my go-tos. Is the Whole Foods in Linfield is the pizza.
It's good.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of times you're in that area for soccer or whatever, and pop in there,
And
get
you
the
just pop
food,
in,
and go.
yeah.
I know there was a lot of people against that going in. A lot of people from Beverly against that Brimville Lab site, but now I think everybody in Beverly's
Everybody's
going to
that
have
Oh,
was-
a
that
I
was gonna be
can't
really
stand these people.
Everybody that
Traffic is horrible.
Yeah,
Was it?
it's a tough traffic. Whoever engineered that whole circle there,
That circle
yeah,
is
he
a
should
little
probably
odd.
go back to school.
that
But
circle
that
is very
it was
odd.
a horrible engineering design for traffic pattern.
Brenda says yes, they do pizza.
Oh, they do.
Oh,
have pizza?
hey, Brenda! Hey, did Joey Foot check in? This will be his first week that he hadn't checked in about a month.
So many names are flying by. I'm sorry. I'm
Pat,
not sure.
you know what, Pat? You're fired.
Okay. All right.
What is it with that? What is it with
Don't
that
be nice to
traffic?
Pat. It's your
Why
birthday
is
week.
it so-
It's just a horrible design. I don't.
It's a horrible
It,
design,
yeah, it's just a terrible, terrible design. there.
So I want to just say this. I don't normally give shout-outs to Common Crow,
Yeah.
but I have to give them a shout-out for their little food thing in the back of that place.
I think it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Their
It's
soups
amazing.
are
I have to
amazing.
start
Their
going there
sandwiches-
more often.
Yeah.
They have some great things.
We
My
should
daughters-
have a Good Morning Gloucester field trip.
That's a
They're-
great idea.
Yeah.
They're-
On Joe's
they're-
tab.
You know what? If they ever did the right thing and tuned us up every once in a while, we would mention them quite a bit more often.
You know what?
They
Flip
never.
flopper.
Bring food. Bring food.
Oh,
We just was doing a shutout, and then all of a sudden you
well,
bash
because
them.
you're like, oh, we should
invite-
go.
We
You
should
know,
invite them
go.
on. We should invite them on. Maybe
Maybe
that's
they would.
something-
Maybe they would do the right thing and show up with some goodies.
Let's invite them on.
Maybe if you
know
ask
what?
politely.
Well, if they hear
They
this, maybe they can reach out to us and say we would love to come
Okay,
on
well,
and bring some goodies.
I'm going to go
Or
out.
invite us over to do a live Good Morning Gloucester cooking
Podcast?
podcast, and then Ralph can jump in the kitchen too.
I'm going to go
Oh,
out.
I
on
like
a,
that idea. I like that idea.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think they have the best, if not one of the best, muffins on Cape Ann.
Yeah. Oh, that's saying something.
kind
And
of-
your viewers
They're
like
blueberry
Common Crow. We're
muffins, they're
getting a lot of-
pear muffins.
No,
they
Common Crow is
have-
great. That's why I
They're
brought it up.
all they're
Oh,
all
so
organic
just
ingredients.
all their muffins.
All their muffins are out of this world. They're
Oh, the muffins.
they're all organic butter, cream, sugar, everything, and they're cheaper than anybody. They're like $2.50.
Butter, cream, sugar, some of my
Or-
5 favorite things.
Food groups.
I like a light.
Coma.
Fresh blueberries. I mean, they're
Oh,
really
GMT
cheap.
and Second Glance while we're over there has been suggested.
Oh yeah, go to Second Glance, right?
I go to. You know, it's fun. I go to every time I'm over there. If
You-
I'm driving down
and-
Pond Road, I'm stopping in Second Glance.
And what do
You never know what you're gonna find.
What do you?
That's what
Yeah,
we
what
do.
are you looking? Do you just looking for?
I go right to the cooking section because I'm looking for little, like maybe
Gadget.
I've never found a hibachi there, but like I always have in my back of my head that like someone had a hibachi in their garage that they never used because some people just don't use charcoal or they get handed down a charcoal grill and they're intimidated by it. So it'd be something that you'd find there, but like cast iron pans or something like that. I'm always
looking for that.
going through there.
I love cast
And cool glassware. They have a lot of times they have some really cool like barware, like heavy lead crystal bourbon glasses.
That's where I got the bourbon when we had the bourbon tasting.
That's
Right there you go.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's like
Glasses.
and you get deals all the time. So there's that. We didn't talk about the cooler yet, Jimmy.
Oh,
what?
Okay.
Okay, so we've been talking about my infatuation with coolers for a couple weeks now.
Can we see it?
So yeah, we're gonna
Such
see
a
it right
pretty
now.
blue.
So
I know that's the new color.
no, don't mess. If this
No,
thing
I
breaks,
just wanna-
you're gonna break this guy's heart.
Look at the
Don't mess around. That's
I just look at
That's
the
not
color match.
replaceable.
Look
It's
at
the
the color
same
match.
color.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's a nice
All
match.
the same vintage.
So anyway, I've been obsessed with like Yeti coolers, but I will not pay the money for a Yeti cooler, right? I just can't bring myself to do it. But there's all these knockoffs, and Arctic makes them, and all these other ones. So
Who makes that one?
this one is Ozark Trail, and it's called Roto Molded, is what they're called. And this particular model right here has the heavy duty things, the stainless steel handle. It has a beer bottle opener right here, and it'll hold ice for like 3 or 4 days.
That thing is nice.
Now I wouldn't pay $150 like they are for the Yeti ones, but Jimmy. So I was doing a Facebook Marketplace search, and a couple towns over from Jimmy in upstate and Pat in upstate New York, they had this one for $30, and
What?
Jimmy met the guy and bought it for me for my birthday. So thank you guys.
Wow, that
That was
is
very
so
sweet.
nice.
Wasn't
That was very nice. And you know what's perfect for me to put my feet on.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I'm gonna open that. I ate something this morning. It's not a green.
So just seeing how we're talking about birthdays, my birthday is March 5th, everyone. Just mark your calendars.
All right.
March 5th.
March
right now.
5th.
Yeah,
And,
put
I
this-
love all
Remind
sorts of things like this, and in grills
That
and
color is beautiful. I love that color.
Isn't that a nice color?
Yeah.
So that'd be great for
and
the
Rolex watches, and I like all sorts of
And
stuff.
your wife likes the Louis Vuitton bags.
No, I was just dropping hints as to what I want for my birthday.
Actually, Kate's gonna like that color.
But that's a very nice cooler. I like that a lot. I like the heavy duty handle.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really
That's
happy.
a great for beach night and stuff like that.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. I think it's actually kind of like a
you
a
think-
guy grill. So you gotta put the stickers on it and personalize it now.
Now,
Has
Ralph,
Other
But
than,
the size too.
other than
Joe.
the color.
Yeah, you could
Yeah,
you
the
could put
size
you
on
could
it.
put your bean on there and see how long your bean is.
Well, Chris isn't going to need a cooler that big then.
how many cans do you think will fit in there?
How many is this a
No,
question?
he
Can you
said.
stop touching my cooler?
Let me
It's
see.
You like it.
it's
I want to say 24 cans.
He
Well,
said
they should have the number on it.
26.
26 cans.
All right, do we
I
have
know.
cans here? Chris,
Cans.
here's,
Jimmy, it's
here's
football
$20.
Sunday.
Go to
You're
the store and
supposed
buy
to be
2
beer.
cases of soda.
Soda. How about beer?
Kim has a program. It's coming up October 24th at North Shore Horticultural Society, the Hummingbird Garden,
Hummingbird Garden.
which is tell people what it's all about.
It's all about what to plant to attract hummingbirds and how to create a hummingbird haven in your own garden, in your own yard.
So where in the pantheon of good bird feeders would a green one that looked like a mason jar fall?
I think
You
we
know
know
what?
the answer to that
You know
question.
what you could do with that?
Spray paint it red?
No.
Oh, I thought she was going to tell
Just
him
put some
what
red
to do.
plastic flowers around it.
Shove it up
Just
with
put
soul.
some red plastic flowers on it, like little red roses
Yeah.
or whatever, and that will bring them. That'll bring them.
So I don't have to throw it away?
Don't throw it away.
I want to smash it in a million
Kim,
pieces.
Or you could also do this. Get one that has, like mine is just clear with little red flowers on it. And so just put them next to each other, and then you'll really see a beautiful thing because they'll go back and forth between the two of them. So if you have one, hang one here and hang another one there. But the best thing to do is to plant native plants for the hummingbirds,
Joe.
and then you'll really get
Kim,
some.
I recently just came back from Napa Valley, and we went to a vineyard, and we were having a wine tasting. We were sitting outside in the Adirondack chairs. It was very nice, and they had all these bird feeders along the top edge of the building, and there was literally a couple hundred hummingbirds.
I believe it because
It was amazing.
That
That would have been so cool.
So right now they're migrating. So there's we only get one species of hummingbirds here. We get the ruby-throated hummingbird east of the Rocky Mountains. They have 4 or 5 different species that are in California, and right now it's part of this is their migratory season. So from now until about February. So this is a really good time to see.
You recently did an
hummingbirds there.
interesting post, didn't you, about migration?
About hummingbird migration.
Oh, some kind of
Yeah,
migration.
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh well.
Was it the monarch one?
It's the monarch migration. We're having a phenomenal monarch migration. It's still going on. Like I've been recording it since September 8th.
I saw a monarch in my yard yesterday.
There were 20 out on Eastern Point yesterday. So it's a much smaller number than was here September 8th. And there's also, we're having a phenomenal painted lady eruption as well. They're smaller, but they're similar color to monarchs, so people kind of confuse the two sometimes. But we're just having an amazing migration this year, just amazing. So, my film project is slowly going along, but I was able to add all the footage from this year in, which is going to make it even more beautiful. So I'm really excited about that. So, but it's been really just an amazing year for migration, hummingbird migration this year, butterflies, many different species of butterflies. So it's pretty exciting.
There you go.
Yeah.
What do we have to say here?
You're going to talk about Halloween.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yes,
So,
there's
Pat.
been some discussions in some towns in Massachusetts, and I'm sure in other places across the country, about changing the date of Halloween from the fixed traditional October 31st to something like the last Saturday in October. And I was just wondering what everybody thought of that. Worcester apparently was looking at doing it and then decided not to. Very recently.
I say no too.
Okay,
I lean toward no, but I don't really have a...
Pat, you go first. Tell me why you lean to...
I lean towards keeping it on the traditional day because it's traditional, because that's the day. That's part of it. I understand that for parents and, a Saturday night or maybe a Friday night would be a little bit easier for them, but... and as school teachers, honestly, we don't want to give kids a reason to go out on a weekend night and raise havoc, because that's typically what happens. So on a school night, especially if it's cold or something,
More so if it's on a Friday or Saturday too.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Kim, what are your thoughts?
A lot of communities do hold events on the weekend nights, so I think it's more of a religious thing for me because it's also All Saints Eve, and it's very closely tied in with the Day of the Dead and Dia de Muertos, where there's November 1st is the day when adults return to Earth, and then November 2nd is when children return to Earth. I mean, this is the spiritual aspect of it, and I just think just keep these wonderful religious holidays on the days that they were meant to be, not just change them to be more convenient for parents and schools.
I think the devil's advocate thing would be, and not that this isn't my feeling, but the devil's advocate play is how overscheduled kids are now, with 3 different soccer leagues. And,
right, so let them just be crazy one night on the night.
But you
that
can't,
falls.
if you miss your club soccer thing or some other club kind of thing, it's like some people get crazy about it.
Parents need to stand up to these coaches, I think.
It's
a
all
little crazy.
It's all a thing.
It's getting more crazy. I mean, I thought it was, not great when Alex was a student, but it's getting even more crazy, I think. I don't know.
Ralph, what do you got on?
I'm not touching this.
You don't have any kids anymore. You don't care.
What do you think I did? Dump my kids in the ocean? What do you mean I don't have any kids?
You don't have kids that dress up for Halloween and going to go trick or treating.
No,
well, they don't go trick or treating, but they still dress up sometimes.
So,
they go to Halloween parties.
Here was the other part why some other parents didn't want to change it. They didn't want to change it because they had their adult parties on the Saturday nights, and they didn't want it to disturb the one night a week where they
I have a Halloween party next Saturday night.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I have one every. Yeah. Not me personally. I go to.
Yeah, big.
Yeah, I have a friend who has a party every Halloween.
I love it I love it that it's on a school night too, because it just gives the kids something. It's just, it breaks up their routine. It's just something
As long
special
as
and
the
different.
teachers don't give homework that night. The
Yeah.
teachers give homework that night?
Yes.
You know, they're doing more of this
Yeah.
trunk
Well,
and
that's-
treat stuff.
It's what?
Trunk and treat, they call it. People get together with their cars and everything, and they literally make it looks like it's a tailgating party, and they can control the kids going around to each car to receive all the stuff, and it's like a block party stuff inside an area. They go to schools with it. Schools give up their parking lots and say, bring all this. Everybody parks.
Take
And
like
they
a
have-
wagon train and they
Yeah.
circle.
And they go around, then they can have activities for the kids. They call it trunk and treat. I believe last year, Gloucester started it, one of the schools. Also started that because they're trying to say it's getting more and more crazy with people going around the homes.
We
doing
live
all
in a
that stuff.
great neighborhood. We have all the parents, like different parents, us included. We set up our house for the kids, and
Mhm.
the kids go around and they have a great time, and they run free, and they, free range kids.
I don't know
Free
whether
range
it's
Free range kids.
but I think that is something that is going out there. You're going to hear more and more of this trunk and treat.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
But like
Adults should do that too.
Like in our neighborhood,
They
like
do.
all
It's
the
called block
adults
parties.
go. In our neighborhood, the adults go with the little kids. The older kids in the group run ahead, and do crazy fun kid things. And I don't know. I think it's
Throw
Halloween.
eggs.
Yeah, well,
I
most
remember
of
throwing
the
eggs with
most of the
cream.
kids in our area
Or
don't
shaving
throw
cream.
eggs or shaving
Toilet
cream.
paper.
They're just running and having
How
fun,
about you guys' neighborhood?
screaming and yelling
in
and
Connecticut,
having,
what do you guys
doing
get?
kid stuff.
You get a lot of people?
It's too
coming out?
rural.
You're
Too
very
rural?
rural,
Yeah, it's just like
yeah.
us.
Yeah,
We're pretty rural where we are.
And the kids can't carry the stones down the street on their backs.
He doesn't give
They're
you.
not strong enough.
Well, the Day
Trick
of
or
the
treat.
Dead and All Saints Day is an international holiday or an
Mhm.
international festival, and I don't think we should change it just to suit our,
Okay, any
it's just more
comments?
convenient to do it on Saturday.
From our listeners, any questions?
Jeremy says, Chef G tuning in, where Joey at? Joey went down to deal with business somewhere. Not too many Halloween related comments yet.
No?
There's been a couple that flew by that I'm racked my brain a little bit. We are down to about 24 people, 14 people.
What was our
Yeah,
high
because it's
there?
too low. And I have to.
Almost
I have
30,
to exit.
Like 28. Oh. Ralph's gonna escape.
Ralph's
Well,
leaving, so
okay.
now they'll go down to 0 people
Your alarm
watching.
hasn't gone
Ralph's
off
gonna
yet.
bust out.
Yeah,
What
I got head
Connor
outside.
says, what do you think about
Oh.
having calorie counts on the front of Halloween candy? 50% of all candy will have calorie counts front and center on the packaging by 2022.
Interesting.
Well, that's like when you go to a restaurant now. I hate going to
Oh
a
my God,
restaurant
yeah.
and they have the calories listed next to the.
I hate it at a ballpark.
Well,
Really?
yeah.
You go up there and you see all the calories with beer and
Yeah.
That must be New
food
York.
and I'm going,
That must
Ralph,
be
do
New
you
York.
have
no,
a pen?
seriously.
I
Really?
need
No.
yours and Chris's.
Oh,
Fenway
wait, yes, I
Park
do.
does.
Here you go.
Actually,
Email address,
I'm just gonna give you my card.
because
No, you just buy it. I don't want to know what it is. I know it's bad. I don't want to see the high number.
I do find myself
Sunday.
looking for that information more often than I ever did before.
All right,
though, but
bye,
that might
all.
be- Bye, Ralph.
Here, can you give
Bye,
this
Ralph.
to Chris?
Bye,
Can you write
Ralph.
down your email address?
Nice to meet you, Ralph. Nice to meet you. Bye, Lisa.
Bye.
Good morning,
Bye,
Boston.
Ralph.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Good to see you. Thanks for the
Happy pizza.
thanks for the treats.
Yeah.
So I love Halloween in our community, and also the mayor is doing. She does a great big Halloween festival at Halloween party at City Hall for the
Right.
kids.
On Sunday from 2 to 4.
And from Sunday from 2 to 4. So if parents are concerned about that, I'm thinking about bringing Charlotte to that as well as doing our regular Halloween.
And the Elks are having their event from 1 to 3, so we can do both.
Do both. Yeah.
Yep.
We we set up a Day of the Dead ofrenda on our porch, and the kids love it. They
Oh, I
just
bet
love,
they do.
Yeah, they love.
Yeah.
And I set out big platters of food for everybody in the neighborhood, and
Now, does Charlotte, has she expressed an interest in what she would like to dress up as, or not really?
She doesn't
Yeah.
really understand the concept yet, but she does have a pair of monarch wings and an antenna.
Waiting in the wings, so to speak.
Right. So no, we put it on a few times. She loves the wings. She doesn't like the antenna. But yeah, I just thought something easy for a 2-year-old to run around in, and she doesn't need, she doesn't need anything too complicated.
Got 3 grandkids, one on the way, and all the grandkids are dressing up as vegetables.
Oh,
how
that's
cute! Oh, that's
And
so
Mom,
awesome.
who is due in about a week and a half,
Oh, what's she gonna be?
an avocado,
Oh,
an avocado pit.
Oh,
Mr.
how
Bella.
cute.
oh wow.
I'm really looking
That's
forward to
pretty
seeing
cool.
that.
Oh,
pretty
that's
good.
funny. Wow, that's great.
It says,
Oh.
Raymond is saying GMG MNF, which I think might be Monday Night Football. I'm guessing, with a question mark.
Oh, I know what he's
Is
talking
that,
about.
oh, the game? Is there,
Yeah, the game's Monday.
Tomorrow. Who was asking that?
Raymond Frederick.
Raymond. We'll have to wait for Joe.
Yeah, gotta wait for our quarterback.
Uh,
Hey, speaking of that, I know his birthday's coming up.
Oh yeah.
So,
He might-
Don't tell everybody.
He might be listening. That I was going to mention it. Do you think he listens all the
No,
way through?
I don't.
I thought he was on
You
the
don't?
phone.
Do you think
Oh,
he
no, he does.
Oh, he does.
Sometimes he does.
Okay.
Oh,
Because
okay.
he tries to look
That's
for
why I
place.
just got Chris's email. So
Oh, that's right. He looks for
Okay.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
I have your email.
Oh,
So
yeah,
his
yeah,
birthday's
yeah.
coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's do nothing.
Sunday.
Let's not even
Yeah.
wish him a happy birthday.
No.
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 I think we
Okay.
do it enough every podcast, so we can
Caitlin
take a day
earlier,
off.
although if you're considering gifts, earlier Caitlin let us know that she's got the boxer briefs covered. So if that's on your list for birthday shopping for Joey, you could take it off your list.
Do you have cast iron?
Covered.
Is there cast iron boxer briefs? Because
That's a good idea.
that's a good idea.
I got him a pair of assless chaps. He's gonna love them.
For Halloween?
For the shower.
You're in. You're in. Oh boy.
What else?
Is that the cooler that Paula Ryan O'Brien was trying
Yes,
to steal?
it is. Yes, and she
Oh,
recognized it. Yes, we had to put her. We had to put the cooler in protective custody in order to get it back here, safe and sound.
Wow.
We met up with
Can
her
you
How
just-
about Connor? Connor texted me saying I had a bunch of questions.
Yeah, he was asking if I read it. Well, I mean, the most recent one at least.
Connor, you still on?
Is this about the calories? He was the one with the
Oh,
calories.
he was about the calories?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
listed
a
on
good
the front of
question.
the
I
Halloween
apologize.
candy.
That's interesting.
I don't know.
Um,
Do you want to see that on Halloween candy? That it's right there on the back.
It's on the. I
It's on
don't
the
need to
back.
see it because
I don't
it's
even
not for
know.
me. It's not for me.
I don't need
you
to see
know,
it in blood.
typically.
In front.
You don't like to what?
See the calorie count of. You can just turn it over and look on the back and read what the calories are for candy bars.
Oh my God! So yesterday I was at I was coming back from my daughter's soccer match, and I was trying to catch Safatia's brother Matz's funeral at St. Anne's Church. I was starving, so I went. I figured it would be quicker if I stopped into the Burger King on 128 and order the thing right there.
Right.
There was 3 people working there. One guy in the back making the burgers, one person doing the orders from the drive-through, and one person at the counter. There was one person in front of me.
Oh my God! How long did it take?
They kept on taking care of the people in the cars going by, and they didn't acknowledge me at the counter. And so it was 10 minutes before they took my order.
Wow.
So the lesson. So but the point was with the calorie thing, they have on the menu right there.
Yeah, they do.
The calories. The smallest burger is like 750 calories.
Wow. Why is that?
And that's like one of them. All the rest of them are up around 960 calories to like 1,400 calories for one burger.
Must be
Did
very
it
fatty
impact
meat
your
or something.
decision about what you were going to order?
It did. I ordered it. Yeah,
Yeah, it
I
does.
got the.
It does
He
make-
ordered chicken instead.
Which is the whole point, I think. But
Wow.
Well, I got the.
Yeah.
I got a little burger. It was this big.
yeah.
But
Why-
I needed something because I was low blood sugar.
Why are their burgers have? Because a burger doesn't. You just cook a burger and it doesn't have that many calories. A regular burger.
They load it with mayonnaise, and I guess I could have asked for it without mayonnaise.
I would have cut back on
Yeah, I
it.
would have cut back.
Maybe they're using like
Does mayonnaise got a lot of calories?
some,
Yeah.
but
It's
not
got a lot
that
of fat.
much.
Don't ask Casey.
But it's good fat. It's usually eggs and olive oil. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
I was going to say that our next taste test is the Impossible Burger.
Yeah,
And
I've had
everybody
one.
taste it,
Oh,
eat
you
a
have?
treat.
Yeah, I've
What'd you
already had
think?
it. And sausages.
Oh,
What'd you
think?
what
The
you
Impossible Burger is the one that
the
got
leaf
them-
based the
Leaf.
Plant-based.
plant-based.
Leaf.
Yeah, it's eating a tree.
It's all leaf.
You're on a roll today.
leaf based.
I don't like those. I don't
Did
like
they
those
have
other
a
alternatives.
Connor wants to know, I think he's talking to you, Joey, did they have a Beyond Burger option? Which I think might be the
Oh, yeah.
plant-based also?
Yeah.
I think that they. I thought I heard that they were going to explore providing that. I didn't see it on
You
the
didn't
menu.
see
I
it
didn't
on the
look
menu
hard
where you
though.
were.
There are a
Yeah.
lot of Burger Kings who do have those on the menu.
Yeah, but Connor, ask Connor if he's tried the Beyond Burger. Has anybody else here?
I haven't had one, but the people I know who have said it's really good.
Wow.
Well, how about Kentucky Fried Chicken? They're coming out with some chicken substitute
Get out.
too. Yeah. Some fried. I don't know. Connor probably knows what it is.
Did he reply?
Nope, not yet.
He's
Takes a minute to.
he's probably drinking his Bloody Mary.
I counted this morning when I did the test of the lag. It was 18 seconds.
Wow.
That reminds me, there've been a couple. There's at least one comment wondering what was new about what was going on. So if you, I know you explained it in your.
Oh, so
blurb,
okay. So
but-
what's new is, and this was not possible 6 months ago.
Really?
Facebook Live, I could never embed a live video
Okay.
onto the. You could embed a link to it, and it would
Yeah.
play from there.
Right.
But if you went to Good Morning Gloucester right now while we're taping,
Right.
I embedded the Facebook Live feed, and you could see us talking without having to pick the click the play button.
Right.
It's not just a flat image.
Right.
It's us talking
It's us
right now.
Right. It's probably so on Good Morning Gloucester. It's there at the top of the page, and it's just playing.
Right.
Okay.
So
great.
people could. So if there was an event in town,
Right.
we could use Facebook Live to push that out to people.
Oh, that's great.
And so you know how we did the video with Joedy earlier. For people will see Jody's video we did as a standalone interview. If Pat had used Facebook Live, that would have while she recorded it,
Yeah.
it would have been, and if she saved it, that video would have been already ready to use
Okay.
instead of having to upload it at a later
Upload it
date and then
someplace.
put it in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty big upgrade from the technology we had.
Yeah.
Because WordPress was not allowing you to embed
Right.
anything live. So if there's so it's breaking news, right?
So-
So you know how and the boat was
Right.
in distress.
Right.
We could have done that
Yeah.
and shared it
Immediately. So.
immediately.
So. Well, I'll ask you after the show.
So I'll
Yes.
tell you the procedures. Yeah.
So Connor is acknowledging that KFC does have Beyond. I think he said it was Beyond Chicken or something.
Yeah.
And that he's had one of the Beyond Burgers from Blue Apron.
Oh, from Blue Apron.
He used his Blue Apron.
Well,
He
He's-
says he lives in a
yeah.
food desert.
Wow.
You know.
Fucking
That's
millennial.
hard to believe that we don't here in Gloucester, but apparently Connor lives in a food
Connor,
desert.
how often do you use Uber Eats? Uber Eats is starting to get more and more
A
popular.
lot. He uses it a lot.
How do you know that he uses it a lot?
Because I used to get the
Notifications or
charges,
something.
notifications on his charges on his credit card. I had to delete it, turn it off because
He was driving you up a
I
wall.
think he's buying stock in Uber.
He's
If
trying-
he's not, you better start, Connor.
That is
Jesus, I
hilarious.
think him alone supporting
It's supporting
Uber's
The Taste of Cape
Revenue
Ann
Commission.
is when is the Taste of Cape Ann, Chris?
November 7th.
No, November 7th is the Taste of Cape Ann. Great take.
That's a great day.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
It's like $20 or something,
Yeah.
and you get to sample
Oh,
food
yeah, that was
from
fun
like
last
30
year. I
different
remember
places.
Super fun.
I think we
Yeah.
saw you there
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely
They
have to.
serve booze there too.
Yes.
Hey now.
Yeah.
It's so cute. It's so critical
Yeah,
for
you
this
talk about the
crowd.
booze. You want to add that you saw Pat at one of the plays
Yeah.
at the Cape Ann, and she was an usher,
Yeah.
and nobody was selling alcohol that day because they didn't have anyone to do it, so they wouldn't let Pat
They
do
still
that.
they still sent me to
Really?
take
Yeah.
tickets or whatever. No,
Yeah.
only kidding. Yeah.
What do you think? So what do you think that is? Because they finally found out that the fox was God in the hen house.
Word
Exactly.
is
One
out.
for them, two for me.
Big fan of Uber and Uber Eats, and Connor is apparently he says off his payroll. I'm assuming he's talking about you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Free delivery on 4 different restaurants every 5 minutes. Connor.
Wow.
Taste of Cape Ann, Mary asks.
Yeah.
Just a little clarification.
Oh, Taste of Cape Ann. What do we say?
It's held where?
At Beauport.
At the
Cruise port.
no cruise
Cruise
port.
port.
Cruise port.
And it's November 7th.
Yeah.
And do you know if tickets can be bought in advance? I think we did the day.
I'll look it up.
Just go to just.
I saw the
just
sign
Google.
quickly. That's why
Right.
I brought it up.
There are
this morning.
there are many area vendors offering samples of their goods,
Yeah.
food and drink.
Yeah.
And there's lots of good stuff, lots of choices.
Yeah.
And you go around the room and you
Yeah.
graze.
Yeah. Last year was the first time I tried the meadery.
Oh, meadery.
Meadery.
Yes, they were
Yes.
right there near the door.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you the scoop on the Taste of Cape Ann. Don't miss our annual Taste of Cape Ann, Thursday, November 7th, 6 to 9 p.m. at Cruiseport. Tickets, you can buy them on their website, North Shore YMCA.
Oh, it supports
Just-
the YMCA.
It
That's
supports the YMCA. Tickets are $25, and you basically
right. Oh, you're
Such
gonna
a-
get $25 worth
That's
of.
such a steal.
it's a steal.
It's a steal.
It's an absolute no-brainer steal. I'll put the show note in the show notes. I'll put a link to where you can buy the tickets
Oh,
ahead
good.
of
It
time.
won't show up until later. I can go get my tickets ahead before it shows up online.
I put this in the
In your
show
show
notes.
When the rush will occur.
Okay, I'll put it in there.
Mary, I'm sure there's booze there. It would not be Gloucester without the funny juice. She has a fair point.
I think it's great that you guys drove. You said you got up at 4 in the to drive here from
We left at
Connecticut.
4,
We
going
left at
to-
4,
Had a real nice drive.
and
Yeah,
Most of it in the
it's a
dark.
lot it's a lot better drive on a Sunday morning than it is on
Yes,
a.
I'm sure it was.
on a Monday
I'm
morning.
sure it was really nice because you no traffic.
Did you hit any black ice?
No, wasn't that cold.
Wasn't that cold?
Oh,
No.
boy.
no.
I drove back from Maine on Columbus Day.
Well, how was
Right.
that?
Oh, it was
Yeah.
horrible.
Really?
Wow.
Black ice?
It was no traffic.
No traffic?
Yeah, the traffic.
Oh.
It took, well,
How
for,
long-
ver-
how
for a
long
variety
should it
of
take?
reasons.
How long
Tra-
should it take?
It should have taken 4.5 hours.
Right.
I left at 10 and I got here at 5:30.
Ooh.
But that
Wow.
was complicated not only by traffic but by the
Stopping.
fact, well, I left something in Maine and then I had to wait till again. So anyway, so there was a little bit of that going on, but it was a very long.
Oh wow.
But
Yeah.
mostly it was the traffic.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Horrible.
I love leaving at 4 in the morning to go places because you just miss.
Jody,
so much
Jody,
traffic.
what's the furthest you've driven to go get a grill?
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
Mine's Connecticut, from Gloucester.
Erie, Pennsylvania. I
Erie,
drove
Pennsylvania.
24 hours straight,
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
and
There.
that's a haul.
3 miles from my house, I opened my eyes and there was a telephone pole right in front of me.
Oh.
I'd fallen asleep.
Wow.
3 miles from home.
That's what they say, close to
Oh,
home.
my God.
Yeah.
And
Yes, most cars
did
in
one of
town
those
are
and I
4
missed the
miles of your
pole.
house, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
reprimanded myself and
Wow.
not to do that again.
I like those drives though. It's funny. Sometimes I go on an hour-long drive for a $20 grill,
Yeah.
but I get a cup of
But it's a
coffee.
little
Good
bit
company.
of quiet
But
time in
no,
the
I know.
car.
But right. It's quiet time in the car. You get a nice warm cup of coffee, and you head out by yourself. No one's barking in your ear, and and then as you're getting closer to the destination, you get there's more and more. The anticipation builds up. You're counting down. You have your cell phone with the directions to the house that you're going to pick it up.
You gotta turn the music down. So
And you're so excited, and then you're like, when you pull in, you're like, oh, where is it? Where is it? Like, is it outside? Or where am I gonna go find it? And then you look at it, and you look it over, and you're like, yes.
It's like Christmas.
It really is. It's like Christmas. And then you're like, maybe, like, I always take pictures, like, and if I don't take pictures before I secure it in the back of the truck or in the back of the, wherever, and I start driving, then I have anxiety because I want to share it with my friends, like, that collect the same type of, like, I'll share it to the Facebook group if it's a hibachi, or to my Weber friends, and otherwise, and it is really funny.
Well, I've only experienced that once through you, because you sent me to some place near the Kendall Hotel.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, look, the red
red
grill.
Red grill, and I was like, wow, this is kind of weird.
In Cambridge, yeah.
Right, in Cambridge,
like a drug deal.
We're trying to find a place to park, and then it was
pimp
like,
out all this stuff, huh? You're saying Kim to pick up stuff?
Well, she was in Cambridge.
It was 2 blocks away from the hotel.
Don't be an asshole.
Jimmy goes and picks
So here's the thing about these grills. Like we were talking, I was talking with Joedy, right? That like a lot of these grills we pay, anywhere from like $20 to whatever $100. But nowadays when you go out for dinner, right? Like a night out for dinner is anywhere from on the low end like $80
right. 80
to a couple $100, right? And if you happen to stay in to cook on one of these grills,
you're saving money.
You're saving a ton of money, and you're probably probably eating better.
Are you still listening, Katie?
Not if you get the $10 off.
Hey,
Minglewood.
Yeah, there you go.
In the free birthday. In the free birthday.
Entree.
Did I tell you that I took your free birthday?
I'll murder you. I will murder you. I'll jump over this desk and I will murder you. No, because you get a free birthday meal
and dessert.
And dessert.
Anything on the menu.
Anything on the menu. And I was there. So I went there. I went with him, and I ended up getting the chicken and waffles. But we were all together, and he paid on his credit card. So I didn't get a chance to use my freebie. I ended up paying the tip. So it cost me money. It shouldn't have cost me anything. And it cost me $40. And I'm like, Jesus, we should have made it on separate checks, and then I could have used my card. It's like the dumbest thing ever. So stupid. Anyway, that is GloucesterCast 362. We're up to 362. Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe it.
I love that
I can't believe
we did the 300th at the Crow's Nest.
Was it? No, that was 350.
Oh, was it 350?
350, yeah. 12 weeks ago.
Connor's asking if we can use a hibachi indoors.
No.
We need to.
I don't think that's safe.
Unless it's in your fireplace, because then all the flue gas will go right up the chimney.
There you go. Asked and answered.
Yeah, you know what? You should have disclaimers for some of this shit. Like my son was just gonna spark up a hibachi in his apartment. I would have sued your asses.
I should give one to your other son that just bought his new house.
The new house, and let him try it out.
Let him try it out.
Connor, we'll try it out on Brendan first.
Just make sure the insurance is paid in full before we do that. Right? There you go. Anyway, it's GloucesterCast 362. It is now officially in the book.